Welcome back to Seat Time. This video wound up being a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be, but we'll get into why here just in a second. Liam and I went up to the Golden Eagle Enduro there in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Cool property at the Stillwater 500. He got to ride around and hang out with his buddies, and I was going to be there for the, the full 6 enduros of the A class. That did not go to plan, but in the long run, it was awesome to be able to have Liam back in the van with me. It was really just a great way for us to get out and camp together. I love those times, and the Nationals have just been really hard and not allowed that. Super cool to have Liam back in the vehicle with me. Not too much change to the bike ride. I did put the 50 tooth back on. I think I'm gonna go back to the 51 for Alabama just because a little bit more elevation. We'll see how that goes. In the long run, I feel like I rode really good today. The way they had it set up is they have a west test, a center test, and an east test. And essentially for A riders, we were gonna ride 2 of each. And they have a 2-hour window and a 2-hour window. We do 3 tests in the 2-hour window, and then we do 3 tests in another 2-hour window. Obviously sprint enduro style, and all the times line up. Works out really well. So the first section for us was 2 in west, 1 in center. And I rode the sand a lot better than I thought I was going to. I took about 2 turns on the preload to bring it in because I knew it was a sprint enduro. I wasn't gonna have my hydration pack and I wasn't gonna have my tool pack. So I was gonna weigh a little bit less and I wanted to see how that went. Man, the bike felt so stinking good. Guys, I actually felt like I knew how to ride sand. Crazy? I know. And I don't feel like I'm much of a sand rider in case you didn't know those kinds of things. Oh, holy shit. That is what it looks like when you override a section and try to figure out how to trust your brakes. It's crazy because that first section where the straightaway where I just opened it up and you heard me curse, I was actually standing up and standing on my brake pedal to try to get that rear wheel to slow down, and I almost ate it. Man, that was super intense. What a crazy way to start. But I was trying to attack. I wanted to see what would happen if I came out of the gate swinging, and I almost put myself on the ground and then almost put myself in the trees. One of the cool things about sprint enduros, especially when we do multiple tests over and over again, is you can compare them between yourselves. It's not just between other racers. So there's a couple sections we're gonna do that. The first one is coming up. It came up quicker than I thought during this section, but it's actually a really good one to see which time I went faster and which time I went slower. This is my first time up, then we'll look at my second time up, and then we'll compare the two. I remembered this section from before, but couldn't remember which way I went. And since I saw that one rider, I went for it. This was a little bit rougher, but it was a lot straighter. And I thought, due to this being a little bit more aggressive, that the next time through was gonna be a little bit faster. But in the long run, this took about 8 seconds. As I was coming up, I knew I was going to take the second line, but right here I noticed a little line off to the right of the tree that looked smoother. In the long run though, because I had to cut back there behind the tree, it actually took me longer. Then I had less momentum as I was on those rocks. And as you can see, by the end of this tree here, I am about a half second slower. If you ride at this property a lot, I'm sure you know the hotline to make it up there and what's quickest for you. This is the second time I've ever ridden there, and it's only been for a race. So in the long run, you kind of just have to think on your feet and know that you're probably not picking the best line. You're picking the best line for the moment that you're in. Regardless though, give me your feedback on what you saw in this, and let's keep on keeping on. Since there was so much sand, I wanted to show how an inside and outside line can differ in timing. I think any sand racer could have jumped those entire whoops there in the inside of the rut. As you can see, I did on the way out. Unfortunately, the way I came out headed me right at that tree, so I had to redirect myself with my brakes. I still got on the throttle pretty good afterwards, but that caused a moment of hesitation that honestly I didn't have the second time through. Because I didn't brake as much going into the outside turn, I was able to carry a little bit more speed into it, obviously then throttle on in the turn due to the sand, and that carried more speed into the sand whoops after the fact, though I don't think I was as aggressive as the first time afterwards. All in all, the second time was about a half second faster, so there's little things to learn from this, but we have to remember to always attack in the areas that we can keep attacking. This is Emma Hasbell's dad.
That's right.
Yeah! So really good. I think I was about 12 seconds off the pace with Sean O'Leary, so really cool. Went into center. I think I was about 12 seconds off of his pace as well when I got that center test. Again, I felt good. It was a little bit longer. The west test is the shortest of the tests. Center is middle at like 7.5. And then of course, once we were to get to east, that was gonna be like 8.5 miles. I felt like I rode good. So I was looking forward to going back in, trying to improve that time in center just a little bit and to see how it went. Unfortunately, I did something really dumb. I forgot something at the truck. So I was riding faster than I should have been back to the truck. And there was kind of this launch off of the road, and I launched off of it, and the bike kind of went sideways, and I like felt like I was gonna fall, so I like shoved my leg out, and I just pile drived my straight leg into the ground as the bike and I hit the ground. And dude, it just shot pain all the way up my entire leg. I mean, literally, like I felt my eyes close, I felt tears form. It was crazy painful. I just dabbed my stupid leg back there and like jolted everything, like just dicking around in some sand, and it just, woo! I was like, smart, here we go. I got about 2 miles into the second center test, and I kept trying to pinch, but every time I would pinch, that right leg would kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of jolt a little bit, and I'd feel the pain, and it just kept on taking my mind away. And then I crashed in a little rock garden because the rocks, the dust was just settling on there, came in there at a little bit of a weird angle, front end kind of washed out, and unfortunately just pile drive my knee right into the ground. And that, again, I was like, oh, dang it, 10 seconds, okay, get up quick, let's go. Kept going, and then again, I'm trying to pinch, kept feeling that jolt, and man, I dumped it again in the sand, and I was like, nope. I was like, I am going to hurt myself. And so I quit. Well, guys, I don't normally quit, but today I'm quitting. I jacked my knee up really bad, like an idiot, and it just hurts like all get out. I haven't quit in enduro in a really long time, but in the long run, I quit the Golden Eagle today. That sucks. I was riding really good, and I just kind of wanted to see how that played out on the day. Not that I expected any kind of result, but I wanted to see if when I rode, felt the way that I rode, could I continue to improve on it, like from first test to second test, and then how that would stack up on the day. I I think my knee is going to be okay. I'm just going to give it some time off. If in the long run, by the end of the week, it doesn't feel a little bit better, I'm going to go see my physical therapist, get some dry needling done, some deep tissue work, get them to kind of play around with it, see how loose it is or isn't, kind of see where we go from there.
I would guess we probably went into a small moment of hyperextension just because of the way the injury happened. My other guess is that you braced for impact when that happened, and we like really squeezed the shit out of our quad, right? Like when you're here and you knew that was coming, you like went to protect and just like really squeezed it.
Man, thanks for watching. Thanks for enjoying. Thanks to everybody that said hi and all the good times. A little bit shorter because I don't have as much footage, but in the long run, well, obviously there has still been some voiceover. Next up is going to be Gobblegator. That'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to getting back to some of the Sarah buddies and seeing all you guys. That's where I grew up. For those of you who don't know, I actually grew up in Louisiana, racing in Sarah. My dad was Stephen Pierce there. We were part of the Louisiana Trail Riders. I think it was like more out of the Fort Polk area than where the Acadiana Dirt Riders is there at Camp Claiborne. Enjoy getting seat time, guys. If I don't get a chance to see you on the trail, at least I'll see you here on the internet. See you for the next one. Peace. Hey, and remember to subscribe. There's like only like 25% of you guys subscribe. Like, what in the heck?